Good morning to you all, respected panel members and our friends. My name is Chandra Chopra, and I'm going to tell you the final presentation of my final year project on browser state detection system, and I'm guided by Mr. Manoj Chetri. Uh, this is the overview of the presentation. I will start with the stating the problem statement that prompted me to take up the project, followed by the aims and objectives of the project, usually followed by the system overview that will explain the dataset, CNN model design and deployment, hyperparameter tuning, and lastly, the result analysis and the final concluding remarks. Uh, Drowsiness is defined as feeling abnormality during daytime. Uh, in a state of drowsiness, a person can cause and get into problems which otherwise can be easily avoided, and in worst case may lead to fatal accidents. As it is said that in a state of drowsiness, a person's sense becomes dull, their attentiveness decreases, reaction times also become slower, and their information processing becomes less efficient. But the existing researches and systems are mostly related to driver drowsiness and alert system. So the system is not easily and widely available for the general use. So the purpose this type of system can serve a meaning, so it makes it critical and necessary for a drowsiness detection system that is realistic, easy to deploy, and effective in classifying signs of drowsiness. So with that, the aim of my project is to develop an image processing drowsiness detection system. And to fulfill the aim, this is the sum of laid up objectives, that is to create an image processing based drowsiness detection model, to develop a custom goodness drowsiness dataset that will be used to train and test the model, and to evaluate the model using the evolution techniques, and to conduct reviews of related literatures. Uh, this diagram here represents the general overview of the proposed system. Basically, it has four main stages and multiple sub-stages. The main stages are data collection, then the image processing, the CNN model, and the classification. Basically, in the data collection, the data record for this project is collected, followed by the image processing, where the data is normalized and standardized to be fed into the model. Then in the CNN model, where the final data set here loaded and pre-processed and the classifier is trained. Then after various hyperparameter tuning and achieving a desired accuracy, the model is saved and loaded into the final classification. So moving on, to give a gist of all these stages for this dataset. It is said that for every machine learning and deep learning project, the most important asset is the dataset that is used to train and test the model. It is stated that the quality and the quantity of dataset determines the accuracy and the robustness of a model, or how well it performs on unseen data. So for that, a custom goodness drowsiness dataset was developed for this project that was labeled into two states of drowsy and awake. It was collected in a form of videos and images, mostly by videos of 10 seconds having 30 FPS, and it was collected from around 50 individuals. As the videos cannot be directly used to train the model, the frame extraction was done using OpenCV library. So for using this library, frames were extracted from the videos at a gap of 10 frames. Next is image processing. Image preprocessing is done mainly to prepare the raw data acquired into a standardized and normalized format to feed into the neural network. For that, I scanned the dataset and removed the duplicates. Then there were around 200 raw images in dataset. So the 200 raw images were partitioned into three sets of training, validation, and testing, following the common norms and dataset partition. Then each raw images were cropped to only have a finished region, as shown here, because the fields were important in this problem. So after that, all the images in the three steps were pre-processed using the data augmentation techniques. This is done mainly to get different variations of a single image. Each raw image was reproduced to 20 different variations. The technique employed by rotation, clipping, contrast change, saturation, and so on, as shown here. So the images in a digital, and lastly, selecting a standardized image size. As the images in the dataset were all of varying sizes, which cannot be directly fed into the network, so it requires the data size to be same. So the image were rescaled to 224 by 224 and by 3 pixels. 3 represents number of channels, here RGB. So this is the final dataset summary, having the partition dataset of training, validation, testing, having their subfolders of awake and drowsy. So the 200 raw images were reproduced to give a final dataset count of 4,000 images. So next is the model design and development. CNN is the algorithm that was chosen to model the problem. After reviewing many literature and studies, as it was found that CNN performed better in this problem compared to other traditional neural networks. Basically, CNN stands for Convolutional Neural Network, and it is the state-of-the-art neural network that is used to extract the features and perform classification. Basically, it has an input and output layer along with hidden layers that can specifically take two-dimensional, 1 or 3 as well. Input arrays is input and perform convolution to give relevant outputs. As shown in the given figure, the CNN consists of many layers, such as convolution, ReLU, pooling layer. Let's see where it's connected to fully connected layers, dense layer, each having their own important processes. So firstly, before the model could be trained, the images dataset needs to be loaded into the model. So first, loading the data into the network. Using the image data generator class in Keras, all the images were rescaled by 1 to 255 to normalize the images when loading into the network in order to reduce the number of parameters so that it requires less computation power and training time. Then using the flow from directory API, the images were loaded into the network progressively, whereby also the target size was set to 224 by 224, and the training and the validation set were shuffled, and the mini batch size were set to 32. Then the serial model design. A baseline model was developed in order to define a benchmark model output against which all the subsequent models can be assessed, as well as for further development and improvements. So as the VGG model was chosen as a reference point as it was considered the best place to start for beginners. VGG stands for Visual Geometry Group at Oxford, and it's a popular reference point because they won the ILSBR sequence competition, and the architecture model is also easy to understand and implement. Basically, it consists of multiple layers of convolution and max pooling layer that are stacked together with small 3x3 filters. These layers can be repeated as blocks with varying depth of 32, 64, 12G, and so on. So this is the baseline model summary of one block model having only one convolution block. So the architecture was then this architecture was explored on drowsiness detection problem and developed variation model with 1, 2, 3, and 4 blocks. Every layer in this model used the ReLU activation function, except the last dense layer. ReLU is the short for rectified linear unit, and it performs simple process of converting negative values to 0, and the positive values return as same as shown in this figure. And for the training and initial baseline model, the optimizer known as ADAM was used to optimize the model. The loss function used was the binary cross entropy loss function, because in Keras, to perform binary classification, these were recommended. So in the last dense layer, as it was a binary classification, the segment activation function was used. So after defining the model,
can you go a bit slow?
Sorry, sir.
Thank you.
The model was initially fitted for 11 epochs. Then then it was trained on the training set and simultaneously cross-validated on the validation set after each epoch. Then a plot was created to visualize the learning curve. This is the learning curve for 1 and 2 block baseline model, and this is for 3 and 4 blocks. The table here shows the accuracy and loss of the first 4 models. So when comparing this model accuracies and loss, it was witnessed that the 4-block drowsiness model had higher accuracies as well as lower loss. So this was chosen as a baseline model on which the further improvement experiments were carried out. So hyperparameter tuning. Basically, hyperparameter tuning is carried out, which refers to a process of tuning the model's hyperparameters for improved performance and better generalization on a dataset. as witnessed from the baseline model suffered from the problem of overfitting. So in order to try to reduce the overfitting problem, different hyperparameters were trained. So firstly, starting with kernel size. Kernel size is the height and width of the filter mask, and it consists of many sizes, both even and odd. The most properly used is the 3x3 and the 5x5 kernel size. So I experimented with 3x3 and 5x5 kernel size on this baseline model. When comparing the two, the 3x3 kernel size yielded better results. Next is the optimizer, which are algorithms and methods that are used to make the model in its most accurate form by changing the neural attributes such as width and learning rate. The three more properly used optimizers in Keras are Adam, SGD, and Horizon Pro. So when using this three on the baseline model, the Adam optimizer gives the best results. And next is the mini batch size. Mini batch size basically is the number of training samples utilized in one iteration, and it influences the training time as well as the accuracy. So different sizes, basically multiples shown here, multiples of 8 were used. From all that, the batch size of 32 yielded the best result. Next is the learning rate. Learning rate is a configurable hyperparameter that regulates the step size each iteration. Different learning rate gives different accuracies. So as the Adam was used, the default learning rate of Adam is 1e minus 3. So as given in table, different learning rate from 1e minus 1 to 1e minus 5 were used, but the default learning rate of 1e minus 3 yielded better results. Next is dropout. Dropout is also known as dilution, and it's a kind of regularization method that randomly sets input to 0 as shown in the figure below. It randomly drops the connection between neurons. So after experimenting, a dropout rate of 25% were applied in all the layers except the last dense layer. Next is the early stopping. Early stopping refers to stopping the training process before the model starts to overfit. So in this, I changed the number of epochs to 500 and the patient was set to 10, and the validation was monitored as it was recommended.
Hello, Dandup, you have 3 minutes.
Next one. 10. And all the models were trained, validated, and tested on the log system. So after trying out all the possible configurations and tuning the model within the allotted time, the finalist model was trained using the best hyperparameters obtained using the experimental analysis done. So after using the early stopping mechanism, the final model training stopped at 21st epoch as seen in the learning graph below. So it was noticed that the final model stopped at 21st epoch, and the training accuracy was 99.9% and the loss was minimum. So after this, the model was saved in SPARC format and later loaded in to test the unseen dataset. When testing the unseen dataset, this was the accuracy score. There was accuracy score of 93.25% and the loss of 23.12%. This is a classification report on the testing set. Basically, this report presents the individual classes precision, recall, F1 score, and support count and the overall weighted average. This is for the test data set. So higher the F1 score, it's better. So the weighted average of this model on the test data set was 93, so which was 90%, which was good. Then this is the confusion matrix, which shows the number of correct predictions and incorrect predictions, and also presents the performance measure of the drowsiness detection system on the test data set of 400 images. From the matrix, we can conclude that the awake state is correctly predicted, but the classifier has hard time detecting drowsy state, as it is noticed that drowsy state was detected as per awake state for 27 times. So these are the sample output images with their respective labels as awake and drowsy. This is a model summary of the finalized model. Basically, it includes 4 convolution blocks, and their the number of dropouts used and their weights. So concluding the presentation, the aims and objectives of the project were fulfilled successfully, and the final outputs basically include the finalized model, a drowsiness dataset, project report, and the scientific paper. Thank you.